All right, it's time to talk about brave leader, supreme leader Xi Jinping.
It's late. I was getting my cheeks demolished. I was getting my fucking back walls blown out, dude.
With neighboring Taiwan and tighter controls over Hong Kong. That city has seen major upheaval in recent years with the police crackdown on pro-democracy protesters. Elizabeth Palmer is there with more on this part of the story. Liz, good morning to you.
Good morning. Not so long ago, Hong Kong was a British territory, and as such, it had a vibrant civil society and media. But one high-profile recent legal case shows
Now it's dead. Everyone's dead in Hong Kong. Like, I'm sorry. I understand why people in Hong Kong would not want to be under Chinese rule because of like how heavily monitored certain behavior is and how that's unacceptable, right? From a civil libertarian perspective. But the way that the American and British media cover this shit is so fucking psychotic. Like, they're like, you can't tell from the way that the streets are designed nowadays, but Hong Kong is under a sequence of fire. Like, that is fucking insane. Also, what do you mean? Oh, it was British and it was a vibrant civil society. It's not like it was yours, you know what I mean? Like, you made a deal to give it back, and then you gave it back earlier than you were supposed to. That's it.
just how much that's changed.
This hooded prisoner's crime was publishing 3 children's books about a village full of sheep. The books were seized by Hong Kong police as evidence of
This is the shit I mean. Like, half the time, like, look, if it's like some fucking pedophile dude that they're arresting and bringing back to mainland China, that's one thing. But if it's dumb shit like this, then it's fucked up. That's it. That's what I mean. Don't write shitty books. Westoid take. Man, suck my dick. None of you motherfuckers living in Iowa understand the fear, the legitimate fear that you have when you have a government that does not have even a semblance of fucking free speech, okay? Shut the fuck up before you say Westoid. Yeah, it's not as fucking horrifying as the way that, or dystopian in the way that American and Western media in general presents it, but it certainly isn't great either, all right? I mean, there's a fucking reason why I live here in America, okay? Shut up. The books featured cartoons of sheep that were trying to repel wolves from their village. The publications reference real events in recent years during Hong Kong's political turmoil, including mass pro-democracy protests in 2019 and how 12 dissidents attempt to escape to Taiwan in a speedboat before being intercepted by the Chinese Coast Guard. Yeah, that's fucked up. Like, it's fucked up to arrest someone over this. Kids book. Man, shut up. Who gives a fuck? You're crazy. That's insane. You're literally insane. I forgot I was on screen. Like, it doesn't matter if they made that for kids or not. It doesn't matter. What are you fucking saying that, like, this isn't a lesson that kids should learn about? Like, who cares? You live on the other side of imperialism? Yeah, even though I do have a unique perspective on, not imperialism necessarily, but certainly authoritarian governments that you know, put you in jail over petty shit. In America, we ban books too, right? Like, obviously, we ban like ridiculous shit, but never to this degree where they fucking black bag you and toss your ass in jail. You're being crazy. This is not a comparison. This is not adequate. This is not appropriate, okay? Sorry. Especially when you're China. Like, I even give a crumb allowance, a crumb of an allowance to a country like Cuba, which is under like a direct occupation, like literally. The world's largest imperial superpower is in its fucking backyard, constantly waging war against it, okay? But you're crazy when you're like, you know, you turn around and you talk about CRT, brother. They're, you know, what the fuck? You make fun of idiotic Republicans complain and cry about that shit. But then when China does it, you're like soy facing. Oh, soy. Oh, soy. It's great that China did it. No, it's dumb as fuck. Why can't you just say high-speed rail is fucking awesome, okay? And the way that China deals with billionaires is awesome. And then simultaneously admit that this kind of civil liberties not being afforded to people is going to be frustrating for people, and it's going to unironically make literally British colonial rule look better in comparison. Like American involvement or Western involvement in the Hong Kong liberation protests are irrelevant if you don't consider the main real reason why young people living in Hong Kong don't want to be under Chinese occupation instead of fucking getting excited for it. Okay? You always think that like the Arab Spring was like almost single-handedly fucking conducted by the United States of America. You're giving too much credit to the CIA. Those motherfuckers on a speedboat got owned by Venezuelan fishermen, okay? It's never just the CIA. It's sanctions, it's economic volatility and instability caused by sanctions, it's civil society groups that they set up in all of these places. Certainly, those are the Western involvements. But if your government is unable to deal with it, if your government is unable to deal with American imperialism like of the soft power approach, then you're going to have a real issue in your hand. The Hong Kong protests are literally CIA operation, though. Like all the escalating motherfuckers, etc., are Asians. This shit has been uncovered so much, but it doesn't matter. There's still real people on the streets. You're missing the point. And the same goes for Ukraine, and the same goes for any other country where there are people protesting an anti-Western force. Okay. Some of you on the left literally think it's just America. It's America that is the puppeteer. And to a certain degree, you're right. I talk about this all the time. You're like going to be right 98% of the time, okay? But the 2% of the time that you're wrong on, you're super wrong. It's weird. It's weird to assume that these massive fucking protests that are happening are exclusively a consequence of the CIA. They don't have that kind of influence. They do have a lot of influence, but not that. You have to have legitimate interest. You have to have legitimate interest on the ground. And people do have that legitimate interest. That's the reality. You got to read Lenin, dude. Oh, my Lord. Yeah, dude. Lenin. Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's late. I was getting my cheeks demolished. I was getting my fucking back walls blown out, dude.